So as you probably saw in the title, this is going to be a quick video on how to clean the mass airflow sensor on this 2001 Toyota Rav4. My air filter box is going to be a little bit different than yours because I installed an electric turbocharger here, but it's basically the same. So what you're going to want to do is release these two clips first, and then that should pull out then. And you can just set it to the side. Okay, so once that front cover of the air filter box is off, you're going to need to pull this 10mm bolt, this one, and this one. Those are all 10mm. Okay, now all those bolts are pulled. This box is now pretty loose. This one kind of just stayed in the bracket. The rest of them came out. So the next thing you're going to want to do is use a Phillips screwdriver and loosen this clamp. And also pull this hose off here. It has just one of those little squeeze clamps, and then pull that hose off. Okay, this bracket will actually pull out of here, so just go ahead and do that. So now I've loosened this screw, pulled that hose loose, and then you can just gently turn that box out of that intake hose. So once that box is loose, your mass airflow sensor is right back here. There's just two Phillips screws holding that in, and just to make it easier, I'm going to go ahead and pull this cable loose. It's one of those ones you press down and then pull out. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. Also, when you're doing this, make sure you don't get anything down this pipe, because that could be bad for your engine for sure. I'm actually going to go ahead and pull this little cable clip out of the side of the box here, and that'll allow me to take this whole box out and clean it with a hose. I unplugged this mass airflow sensor and took the two screws out, so that'll slide right out. But I'm going to go ahead and take the box loose first. I just took a pair of needle nose pliers and squeezed that clip together there, and then it pulls out of that slot really easy. So now the whole box here is loose. So the sensor just pulls right out. You want to be really careful with these. They're pretty delicate. And I'm going to use some mass airflow sensor cleaner. It comes in an aerosol can. You can buy it at an auto parts store to clean this thing up. And then I'm going to spray the box off. So here's the can I have. It says to clean the whole sensor connectors and the actual sensor itself. It says on the back of the can all the directions you'll need to do this, so just go ahead and take a look at that if you want. So here's the cleaned up sensor, all sprayed off and cleaned again, and then I cleaned the box out, dried it off. So I'm going to go ahead and put that stuff back on. I'll screw the sensor into the box first. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and reinstall this bracket here. It's this screw there, and then the screw that came out of this hole here is actually shorter than the other two that came out of these ones. So put the short one back in there. Okay, now you can go ahead and slide this box back in. Make sure you don't get your cables pinched back here. And then you're going to want to slide it into the hose here. And then there's, under here, there's that plastic thing that sticks out. It goes in the square hole in that metal bracket. So you want to get that in there too as you slide in. Okay, with that back in place, you're going to want to take your other two bolts here, put them in back where they go here and here. Then you're going to want to replug your mass airflow sensor cable back in. there, and then remember to clip this back in that hole there, and then retighten this Phillips screw around that clamp there. One more thing here, I actually cleaned out my connector with some electronics cleaner just to make sure all those connections are nice and clean, so you can do that if you'd like. Okay, now you can go ahead and reinstall your filter. And then you can slide the outer cover back on. Alright, so that's all put back together now. I don't think I mentioned, you want to make sure you don't forget to reattach that little hose there. So definitely plug that back in, and plug your sensor back in. And so I think that's about it. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps. I'll see you in the next one.